Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here today, and you should be too. Yes, you should. And today I had planned on showing you how to make what I call the ridiculously simple calipers. Okay? And I had got lost on YouTube again, and I'm always on YouTube. I'm actually on YouTube. You should check out my channel sometime. Anyway, I got caught up with the golden ratio. Okay, so if anyone's not familiar with the golden ratio, that is supposedly the ideal proportions for art, and it shows up in Greek architecture way back. Okay, and basically it's a proportional rectangle that's supposed to be the perfect proportion. And yeah, right there. That's how it shows up. And it's in nature everywhere. It's in nautilus shells. It's in sunflower flowers. And recently they discovered that it's even in the spiral of your DNA is in the golden ratio with that helical spiral thingy going on. But what I was going to do is, you know what? Since it's in nature and it's even in our DNA, we should cut a stone using the golden ratio. And to do that, I thought, oh, I should make a pair of calipers to, to more easily find the ratio, which you can do with math. It's actually very simple to do with math. But we're going to make the calipers today. And this is what I was originally going to show you, which is called the ridiculously simple calipers. And they are ridiculously simple. Okay, and these are 2 tongue depressors. Okay, it's 2 tongue depressors with a bolt in the end, and the other end cut down to where you can measure between them, caliperize them. And these are made out of 2 tongue depressors and a little bolt and washer that you had laying around. So you ever get one of those things for Christmas? It's a little square box with all kinds of nuts and bolts and stuff in it, and little drawers that are a pain in the butt to get in, and you hang it up in your spare room somewhere, and like, yeah, I'll use these things, ha 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 ha, and then all it does is collect dust, and you end up piling old socks on top of it. Well, if you have one of those, now you can actually use one of those tiny bolts that you never would use any other time. But these are the ridiculously simple calipers, and we're going to make a ridiculously simple golden ratio calipers. And the process for making these is exactly the same as the process for making these, except there's a little bit of math involved, and trust me, it's not that hard. So to explain this properly, I'm going to pull out the plate of destiny, which is basically going to be our notebook. Okay, and the golden ratio is this: a perfect size rectangle. This is not the scale. Okay, so if you want to get the golden ratio, you have this rectangle right here. Ba-doom. Okay, and whatever this side is, to make this fit the golden ratio, you take whatever number this is and times it times 1.618. And that will give you the perfect ratio for this side. So what that boils down to, if you want to make a pair of calipers to figure that, you will go with, like, say, this side. Let's see here. These sticks are 15 centimeters. Okay, that's 15 centimeters long. So this side of the golden ratio would be 15 centimeters. So to get this side, you would divide that by 1.618. So 15 divided by 1.618 is much too long division that I'm going to do here on screen. So when you do that math, you get 9.27 centimeters. So the golden ratio for this rectangle, if this was 9.27 centimeters, would be 15 centimeters this way. Now to make calipers, to do that, you would measure let's say this is our point, very tip of the caliper. You would measure in 9.27 centimeters from here, drill a hole, put a bolt in, and when you spread this side out, it will be the long side, and this side will be the short side. It's that simple. Very simple. So you may ask, why do I want to do this? Well, it's because we're going to take and cut a stone using that golden ratio. So when we do cut the stone, it will be in the dimensions of the golden ratio. So if we have a stone that's maybe 15 centimeters long, we'll make it 9.2 centimeters or 27 centimeters at the widest point, and then make the oval to fit in there. And that should be how nature intended it, since the golden ratio is in our DNA and in everything else in nature. So that being said, we shall turn these into a set of calipers that will read that golden ratio. And basically the same time, we'll show you how to make these calipers, these ridiculously simple calipers, which work ridiculously well. And we can actually use these to make this. All right, so we've established that these popsicle sticks are 15 centimeters long, and we need to come up 9.27 centimeters. So we take the ridiculously simple calipers. 9.2. So we set our caliper, boom, at 9.27, and this is not extremely accurate, pretty darn accurate, for 2 popsicle sticks. So right there we have just about, my squeeze these a little bit. That point to that point, we've got 9.2 centimeters. 9.27 centimeters. All right. So now we need the ridiculously, where is it, pencil? There it is. So we come from this point. We're going to make the highest point of that doodad right there. And make a line right there. And that is where and that is totally wrong. No, I was right. I don't know what I was thinking there. I was thinking about too many other things and not what I was supposed to be thinking about. All right, so we have 2 equal length popsicle sticks here. And we need to drill a hole right there. So the easiest way to do this, I'm going to get some tape. And we're going to tape these together. Okay, sorry if I'm out of frame there. And if you were making the ridiculously simple calipers, like this, you'd be doing the exact same thing. You'd take the 2 of them, tape them together, drill a hole up here at your pivot point, ba-doop, drill a hole there, put your bolt in, cut your ends down to equal points or semi-equal, and then you have this. That's that simple. Now, what we're going to do with this, though, is we're going to drill that right in the center. And I could measure this. I think I shall measure it. How wide is that? That is 1, 5, 6, 7, 1.8 centimeters. Okay, so we have a width there of 5, 6, 7, 8 millimeters. That'd be 18 millimeters. So that gives us 9 millimeters to the center. Just right there. Right there. Yes, right there. Right there is the 9 millimeter mark. I needed a sharper pencil. And I already got the right size drill bit. So I'm gonna do this the super scientific way. Yes, I am turning the drill bit with my fingers. Because I just got tried out my drill and the battery is dead. So if you don't even have a drill but have a drill bit, okay, for all the more this is, you should be able to drill through that with your fingers and a drill bit. So if you don't even have any power tools, you should be able to make these as long as you have a drill bit. Now, if this was anything but popsicle sticks, well, actually tongue depressors, yeah, I'd suggest getting a drill. But since this is pretty much super crappy wood, see, I'm through already. Thin, not very strong wood. You see, that didn't take but a second. And your hole is already drilled through. Okay, now what you do want to do, all right, I am going to sharpen this pencil, so don't go away. Okay, pencil is sharpened. I'm going to lay this down here, and I'm going to mark a center line on here, 9 centimeters. I'll check it the other direction. Yep, that's 9 centimeters. Mark it down here at 9 centimeters. Double check, is it 9 centimeters? Yes, that's it. And then I'm going to scribe a line all the way along here to give us basically the center point of these popsicle sticks. 4.5 centimeters. And I should have just guesstimated. Yeah, we'll do that. All we need to do is bring these to a point. I'm going to go down 15 centimeters on this side too, because we want to. Okay, this mark is not exactly what you would call, it doesn't have to be super accurate. What you're going to do is come to that point, and scribe yourself a line to make points by which you can sharpen this tip. And that will give you the tip of the iceberg, as one would say. This angle is not extremely important, but what is important is this mark right there. And this mark right there, because that is your center. Okay, now we've got that taped together. I'm actually going to throw another piece of tape on there just to be sure it holds well, because we are going to be a little bit aggressive with this. And I'm going to, here, we'll get a little bit closer so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, there's your center point. There's your center point. Now I'm going to take and file these. Why is that not focusing? I'm going to take and file this to a point on that side and on that side. And then we'll be ready to put the bolt in. Okay? And we're back. And that was about 5 minutes. And all I did was sand that to a point. Actually, I used a rasp first to get it pretty close, and then use sandpaper to get it where we had a nice point. And we are almost done. And the next thing is, since it's taped together already, so we have this tiny whiny little bolt here from that collection of assorted household nuts and bolts that you never ever use. And we're going to screw that in. Oh, it's a little tight. That's great. You got also the tiny screwdriver that you never ever use because it's too small for anything. Good grief, I think it's even too small for this. Now we have a normal size screwdriver to screw that little Phillips head screw in. That would not fit on the... How ridiculous are things sometimes, I tell you. You can see that is a tight fit on that screw, which is just what you want. Okay, but actually I'm going to take that tape off now because I'm afraid it's going to not come off. Now I can't even get the tape off. Okay, there it is. That was partially underneath would have been partially underneath that washer. Okay, we got that tightened up. Now we can try to take the tape off the other two sides, which might be hard to get off. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, it is off, and now we have what should be a set of Golden Ratio Calipers. And the only way to find out is to test it. So, bring in the weight plate of destiny out here, and we'll just do some math. And we'll kill a chicken. Okay, so let's just set this. Let's make it an easy number. We'll set this at 5 centimeters. Okay, that will be the long side. So, if we do the math, 5 centimeters divided by 1.618. And I shall get the handy dandy math thingy out. You remember whenever your math teacher said you'd never have a calculator in your pocket? They lied. So 5 divided by 1.618 should be 3.09. So this side should read 3 centimeters. And look at that. Look at that. I'm going to look at it from this direction. Yep. 3 centimeters. So there you have a set of calipers. That will... Everything's falling down today. Gee. Now you have a set of ridiculously easy Golden Ratio calipers. So if you wanted to see how close maybe a cabochon that you have, like here's one that's covered in dust. See how close it is to the Golden Ratio. So you would measure that. And then the outside, or the other side, well, this is a little bit off from the Golden Ratio. But it's awfully close. Actually, let me remeasure that, because that might be closer than we thought. Okay, there it is, and Nope, it's still off. You can see it's off from the size that the golden ratio tells it should be. But anyway, we're going to use these to cut some cabochons with the golden ratio and see what they look like. So it's easy to make a set of these, and it's even easier to make a set of these, which was going to be the original video, which is the ridiculously easy to make calipers. And if you don't have any tongue depressors, next time you eat a twin pop and you got 2 sticks, just save them, stick them in your pocket, bring them home, and in 10 minutes you can have a good set of calipers. Ridiculously easy. It's like, why would you do that when you can buy calipers fairly cheap? Because you can't get it cheaper than 2 popsicle sticks. So if you like the video, hit the button down there, subscribe, like it, and we'll be back and we'll be using these to cut some cabochons next time with the golden ratio. So thanks for spending some time with me, and have a good evening.